What's up, my friend? My name is André. Today I'll be reacting to how big is the US actually. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that, my friend. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, oh man, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one on Patreon, so let's play it.
This video was made possible by Wix. If you're ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics to try out one of their premium plans right now. The United States is currently the world's sole superpower with military installations around the world. As a country, its geography spans from subtropical forests to rolling plains, scorching deserts, and Arctic wastes. But just how big is the US really in comparison to the rest of the world?
Short answer, really big.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographics Show. Today we're taking a look at how big the US really is. The US is approximately 5,680,000 square miles, with terrain.
Okay, so we are comparing land. In terms of land, I believe Russia is bigger than America. Not I believe, I'm pretty sure about that. And Canada is also bigger than America, right? I'm not sure about Canada, but at least Russia, I'm sure.
That varies
That said, America is still huge. I mean, it's crazy actually.
Dramatically. Only Russia at 10.6 million square miles and Canada at 6,205,000 square miles are larger than the US. Its three biggest states, Alaska at 663,000 square miles, Texas at 270,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles, combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles, and right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the US is larger than the 107 smallest countries in the world combined. With about 327 million people, the United States is also the third most populated nation on Earth, having a total of 4.28% of the total world population.
Okay, so the third most population, I assume first is India and second China, because they end up switching positions, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I thought it was 300 million people, not 327 million for some reason. But you guys also have a lot of land. I think things are still under control in terms of population in America.
Net yearly migration rate of approximately...
You guys may actually need more people, because probably the women nowadays have less kids, right? So
approximately 900,000 people.
Oh man, but that's a big number. 1 million people per year enter America. And this video, I believe, is 3 or 4 years old, so maybe the number is a bit bigger now. That's a lot of people entering America, to be honest. But again, maybe it's actually necessary, so I'm not sure.
The US is by far the one place the rest of the world wants to live, with Germany coming in second at 350,000 miles.
Okay, so this actually impresses me a lot, because I believe Germany is like 80 million people and they have 350k entering every year. I think if you put in terms of percentage, this is more impressive in the German side. And this could be a good thing or a bad thing. It almost depends on your politics and your view of how a country should be run. But actually, okay, this number does not look as crazy looking at those two countries, for example. Maybe you disagree, feel free to leave a comment, but I mean, for me, impresses me quite more to see Germany having so many people entering every year, the country, for a lot of reasons. But the big one is, in terms of land, not a lot comparing with America.
Migrants, and Turkey in third with 325,000 migrants. In the US, 83% of the population lives in cities, with its three most populated cities being New York City with 8.5 million people, Los Angeles with 4 million people.
New York City, 8.5 million people? That's crazy. My country have 10 million. Wait a second. Is this just the city? This is the state, right? Not just the city. I may have to Google that after the video. This is insane.
and Chicago with 2.7 million people. All combined, the population of the US's three biggest cities is equal to the population of Chad with 14.5 million people. Just these three cities alone are also more populated than Cuba with 11.5 million people, Belgium with 11.3 million people, and Greece with 11.2 million people.
Where is Portugal, my friend? Portugal have 10 million. This guy that does not like Portuguese people.
When counting the greater metropolitan area, New York City is the 10th largest city in the world.
No chance. Wait, really? I knew it was big, but I had no idea it was this big. So almost 20 million people live in New York, the state. Oh no. It is what it is, my friends.
With a total population of 18.6 million people, just behind Cairo with 18.8 million people, and just ahead of Dhaka with 17.6 million people. This would make the greater New York City area the 63rd largest country in the world, just ahead of Syria with 18 million people.
That's
the
insane.
US is the world's largest economy with a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion, or 20...
Okay, can I run it back because this is really important. Before you leave a comment saying I post too much, I'm already aware, my friend. But when I react, I want to learn, you know.
With a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion.
Sorry, I have to go a bit back.
Just ahead of Syria with 18 million people. The US is the world's largest economy with a gross domestic...
Okay, I was aware of this, but I wanted to be sure.
...product of $20.4 trillion, or 23.3% of the total global economy. China is
23% of the total global economy. That's crazy.
Is just behind the US at $14 trillion and 16.1% of the total global economy. When measured by...
Honestly, this is why people say China is the biggest threat to America, right? Those numbers are quite impressive. They are still distant from America, but still really impressive.
Purchasing power parity, or the price of goods and services versus individual incomes, the US comes at number 2 to China, whose GDP PPP is $25.2 trillion.
Oh wow, I was not expecting this one. Is this really true? I hope it is, because I don't want to be watching some type of propaganda. I mean, but this channel is quite good in terms of information. Okay, really interesting actually.
This means that while the Chinese economy is about 30% smaller than the US's, Chinese individuals have on average 20% greater purchasing power in their own country. The three biggest economies within the US states are California with a GDP of $2.6 trillion, Texas with a GDP of $1.6 trillion, and New York with a GDP of $1.5 trillion. Altogether.
Wait, oh actually I thought New York was number 1. Oh, that's insane. Wait, California is printing money. What the hell is going on with California, my friends? Texas, I believe, one of the main reasons is because you guys have a lot of fossil type of energy. But California is... Why? But why is California having such high GDPs? Is technology companies and stuff like that? Okay, really interesting. But Texas is also super impressive with 1.6 trillion.
Together, these three states would be the world's third largest economy, just ahead of Japan with a GDP of $5 trillion.
Whoa.
California's economy alone is as big as the United Kingdom's. Texas's is as big as Canada's. And New York...
Canada cannot win one, but okay.
York's is as big as South Korea's. The United States also has the best equipped military in the world, though it's only the third largest at 1,282,000 active duty.
Oh, another thing that I was not super aware is not the largest, is the third largest. Okay, maybe China is China and India, maybe Russia, I'm not sure.
Personnel. Ahead of it are India with 1.4 million active duty personnel and China with 2.1 million.
But to be honest, man, China is really impressive, those numbers. But to be honest, they stand zero chance against America because, yeah, you guys have a lot of men to fight and women probably to fight in the war, but they lack technology, and that's what matters at the end of the day. But still impressive. I mean, I guess we can all agree with this. Pacific China, I mean, 2.1 million, that's crazy. I mean, 1.2 million for America is already crazy. That's the point, you know.
Duty personnel. The U.S. spends over $610 billion on its military every year, or 3.1% of its total GDP.
Okay.
35% of the world's total military expense.
So, you guys can correct me, but I think I'm wrong. I'm actually correct on this one. I believe right now you guys spend 800 billion, which is insane, but also impressive.
Expenditure, and more than the next 9 nations combined. Just behind it are China with $150 billion in expenditure.
I mean, sorry, but it's not even comparable. Look at the difference. 150 billion, by the way, a lot of money, but compare with 800 billion. Maybe China right now is like 200 billion also, because maybe also end up increasing. Saudi Arabia, low-key, that's also a lot.
And Saudi Arabia with $76 billion in expenditures. The United States also has the most military bases in the most foreign countries in the world, with approximately 800 military installations in 80 countries, possibly more military bases in more foreign lands than any nation or empire in history.
So, I actually have a video about this, and that video was insane. How many military bases are around the world for America. Basically, the title of the video is America is Everywhere. That video blew my mind. So take a look at that if you also want to check that reaction and learn more about the topic.
The cost of maintaining these bases alone is about $156 billion, more than China spends on its entire military.
That's insane.
On the civilian side, the U.S. has the world's third largest police force, with 913,000 total police officers, placing it
Okay, so almost 1 million. Really interesting.
Just behind India at number 1 with 1.9 million police officers, and China with 1.6 million police officers. In the realm of healthcare, the U.S. is the most expensive nation on earth, with a health expenditure per capita of $10,000.
Your insurance will only cover up the removal of the damaged organ. You will have to put it. Come on.
$1,350, placing it ahead of Switzerland at $7,900 and Germany at $5,550.
So I think this is where some people may be critical of America's healthcare could be a bit better, right? And I think he's a fair critic. Not sure if you guys agree or not, but America does so many things well, you know, that I think you guys also can improve on this.
$50, while on average the rest of the world spends.
But honestly, what I know, I mean, I don't live in America. Maybe you guys think the healthcare system is okay. So, and if that's the case, forget what I said.
Spends about 10.3% of its GDP on healthcare. The U.S. spends 18% of its GDP on healthcare. The United States is a large, complex nation, big enough to host several different distinct accents within its own borders. Its people are hardworking and industrious, leading the world's economy. But despite what...
It's a great country. I mean, the more I react to America, the more I admire America and American people, you know, because both go together. I really went to visit America one day. I gave a small update recently on one of my videos. The reason I'm not going to visit America probably next year is I'm going to be at that soon. And you guys can imagine that will be a stressful time for me. But eventually I will go. Maybe 2025 or 2026, I'm not sure. But so many beautiful things I want to see in America. And yeah, I mean, it will be a dream coming true.
Recent political events might indicate they're also the most welcoming nation in the world, with...
Oh, wow. Honestly, I should not be surprised, because the thing is, when I started this YouTube channel, I guess today this is almost a personal video. When I started this YouTube channel, Of course, look, one of the things I was a bit unsure was my English. Not my English, but also my accent, because all of you guys think I'm Russian for some reason when I'm not. But I was a bit unsure. I mean, there is always some people that like to make fun of that type of stuff, even though it's a bit stupid to make fun. But there is always those type of guys. Honestly, not really. I mean, 99.99% of people that watch my videos are Americans and are amazing. So
3 times the number of immigrants than nations in either the number 2 or number 3 spot in a global comparison. The US isn't the only welcoming place in the world. We've never felt more welcomed than when we signed up with Wix to build a website.
Okay.
Regardless of what exactly your business or hobby is, one thing's for sure, Wix has a professional solution for it. And if you're looking for more than just a website, maybe email marketing, a mailbox, or a custom domain, Wix can help you with that as well. Don't worry too much about the things you don't have control over. Worry about what you can do to improve your life.
Sure.
Go to wix.com/go/infographics or click the link in the description and build the website you want and need today. Hopefully today's episode has put the size of the US in perspective for you. What other country would you like to see us do next? How big
Portugal
is your country by comparison to the US? Let us
let's not compare Portugal with America, okay? Because that would be not that great. That said, my friends, I really hope you end up enjoying this reaction. I thought it was a great video. One of my Patreon members ended up suggesting this one, and I thought, why not? And actually, I ended up having a lot of fun reacting to this. I was aware of a couple of things, like I said, number 1 country in terms of military, number 1 country in terms of economy, and to be honest, let's be real, those are the 2 things that matter the most. But a couple of things end up surprising me there. For example, 1 million people per year entering America. I knew that for sure the number will be big. I was not sure it would be that big. But overall, great video. Do not forget to leave a like. Do not forget to subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye, my friends.